Hey everyone, this is a clip from a recent episode of Another Pass, where we talk about movies and all the struggles that go into making them. If you like it, check out the whole podcast. You can find it at certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, and I mean, what I find interesting is that part of what makes the movie so great is the revolutionary technical things that they were doing. But the problem was these were revolutionary technical things that hadn't been tested before.
Yeah.
And they learned the hard way about a lot of it.
Yeah.
So
I think there's something also tied into that because it's not just like, we're doing these revolutionary things and it's like amazing technical things that we're trying out that no one tried out. But afterwards, after they try out things, the response when it was negative was so callous by the studio itself. And that's what really makes it tragic, right? Because mistakes might happen and tragedies unfortunately happen even on the safest of sets. And that's just, even the safest of places, that's just, I guess, the roll of the dice of life. But the fact that Margaret Hamilton burned herself and no one sent her home, that she had to call a friend to come and get her, and then the next day while she was recovering, someone from the studio called her to ask her when she'd be back at work. I think that ultimately is...
It's actually worse than that. I mean, what originally... Well, if we're jumping ahead to the first Margaret Hamilton moment, because there were multiple ones, they were shooting the moment where the Wicked Witch has first shown up and, I'll get you my pretty and your little dog too. And she disappears in the cloud of smoke and fire. And so the way that it was set up was there was a little mini elevator in the set that she hit her mark, and then the elevator went down, and then when she was past a certain point, the flames would shoot up. And they did this multiple times and it was fine. And then the director was like, let's just do it one more time. And the way Margaret Hamilton tells the story is she did it, and as she was going down, she felt some warmth by her face, which she hadn't felt before. And then all of a sudden she was on her back, down on the ground, and everybody was around her, and the flames had been released too fast and had completely burned her. And the added element is that one of the lead makeup artists came and started vigorously scrubbing her skin. And she was screaming in pain because she had third-degree burns all over her body. And he's scrubbing her skin. And she's just in abject, pain and misery. And later he leans down to her and says, Margaret, I'm sorry. I know that was the most incredibly painful thing. But I need to tell you a secret, which is there's mercury in your green makeup. And if I had left that on you, the mercury would have been absorbed into your skin and you would have died. And that's one of the things that they definitely didn't talk about. Yeah. And then we're like, when can you be back? And her first day back on set was the day that they were shooting the witch taking off on her broom to do the Surrender Dorothy writing. And there were flames coming out of the end of her broom. And Margaret Hamilton had learned a thing or two. And she's like, yeah, no, I don't think this is a good idea. No, we're being really careful. We've triple checked it. And she threw a fit, as they would say, defended herself as we might say now, and said, my stunt double is doing it first. And they were really pissed off and they were really annoyed. And they're like, okay, fine, whatever. Her stunt double gets on the broom explodes, and her stunt double gets taken to the hospital with third-degree burns.
Yeah,
so
didn't she also impale, there was something that impaled her leg, or she got a cut on her leg from the fall?
Yeah.
I remember reading that there was actually an injury to her leg from the fall. She got burnt, but she also had an injury, which is, I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of episode you guys are listening to.
Yeah. I think this is a microcosm of all the problems that we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
That just from start to finish, Remember, if you like that clip, check out the podcast. You can find it at certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts.